Hi everyone, it's Tuesday the 1st of October and I'm going to look forward now and do a quick preview of the National Road Relay Championships which take place at Sutton Park, Sutton Coldfield on Saturday, 5th of October. And just before I start, it's worth saying that it's also the same day there are the Scottish cross-country relays taking part, so no Scottish teams seem to be competing in these relays, and no Welsh. It's purely English teams, it looks like, that are going to be in with a shout at least. And you wouldn't think people would get that excited about a relay which is over distances of 5.9k for the men, 4.3k for the women, so you got, I don't know, 17, 18 minutes of running for the men and 13, 14, 15 minutes for the women. But because there's history to the event, it brings something to it. So you look at the fastest men's times ever on the course, Andy Butchart, Mo Farah, Jack Rowe, are actually topped by a guy called Chris Davis from Telford back in the day, who was a demon on this course. And the women's, Paula Radcliffe, Amelia Quirk, Steph Twell, Gemma Steele, Charlotte Purdue, the fastest lap. So it's an event with a lot of tradition. So that brings people out who like to try and compete but also support at the event. So looking forward to seeing quite a few people we know on Saturday. Just worth going over once again what happened in the regional championships. The Midland on the men was Bristol, Western Tempo and Birmingham, and the women Western Tempo, Bath and Tipton. The North on the men was Leeds, Hallamshire, Morpeth, and the women Leeds, Salford and Vale Royal. And the South was Cambridge and Coleridge on the men from Shaftesbury and Bedford, with Aldershot, Cambridge and TVH or Thames Valley Harriers on the women. I think I did a disservice when I mentioned the Northern fastest laps last week. I didn't realise the results were laid out. Actually, Phil Sessman was the second fastest with 16:01, which brings Ben Connor's 15:37 fastest lap at the Northern forward, and just shows what good form he was in. But actually, his club Derby are not in the road relay champs at the weekend. Last year, the men's was a real tussle, with Leeds, Aldershot and Cambridge finishing within 16 seconds of each other. Whereas on the women's, Aldershot had the A team first and the B team second, with Leeds third. Fastest laps on the women were Lily Partridge, Georgia Griak and Kate Axford, although it's noticeable that Kate Axford is not listed on the Belgrave entries, and nor is Georgia Bell, because they could put out a team that would certainly challenge Aldershot at their best. But Aldershot, 13 wins in 16 years on the women's side, so who'd bet against them? The men, as I say, was really close last year, and there was some really fast times run. Omar Ahmed ran 16:34. Fastest ever is 16:25 by Chris Davis, who I mentioned. Will Barnacote 16:36, and he was chasing down Leeds at the finish, but didn't quite get there for Aldershot. Rory Leonard for Morpeth ran 16:38, as did Jacob Allen for Highgate last year. The records are Aldershot's men's record 1:42.44. Really, really quick, of course, when you think that 18 minutes is 1:48 average. So they're what, 17, low 17s average for 6 men, which is pretty swift around there. The last 4 years on the men's side have been shared 2 and 2 by Leeds and Aldershot, and you'd think that if they could put their strongest teams out, they'd be the two that would challenge for the win, and I'll come on to that in a second. Again, looking at current form, National Cross Country was won by Bristol on the men's side from Highgate and Leeds. So Bristol, no doubt, if they can put a strong team out, it'll be in contention. And on the women, the National was Aldershot, Thames Valley Harriers and Leeds. So the same sort of names cropping up. And on the women's side, you just wouldn't bet against Aldershot. They've got an array of people to choose from to put out a strong 4. That's all they need. So I think they should be able to do that. Looking through the men's entries, Aldershot have entered Will Barnicoat, Jack Rowe, Ellis Cross and Ben Bradley, who was the second fastest at the Southern Road Relays. So if they all were to run, they'd be very, very difficult to beat, I think. Although Leeds could put, run them close at their best. I'm wondering about Jack Rowe. I saw an interview with him. He's going to run the Manchester Half Marathon, which I think is a Puma event the following week. So, and he's just run the Vitality 10K in London and won that. So I'm not so sure he will race, but he's quite a decent club man and gets on well with the rest of the team. And so he might well turn out. And of course, there's a sort of domino effect. Once you get one or two good ones running out, others want to run. So it'd be interesting to see who they put out. Birchfield, interestingly, have got Omar Ahmed, Kadir Omar, Gabra Mariam, who ran 7:52 for 3,000. He's the under 20 who has run really well over the past year. And Elliot Giles in their entries could put out a good 6. I suspect Elliot won't run. He's been on a bit of a break according to his YouTube videos. Cambridge, who were winners of the Sun, I don't believe have got Jonathan Escalante Phillips, who ran the anchor leg there. He's told me at Aldershot that he's going to a wedding, so maybe they're without him, but they could bring in the likes of Tom Keane, who didn't run in the Sun. But there again, probably feel perhaps not strong enough to compete with either Aldershot or Leeds if one of those put out a really good team. Highgate, interestingly, have only entered 10 runners. They could put out a decent 6 from those 10, but it doesn't look as strong as they could be in total depth. So I'm wondering there what they will be like. And on the Leeds entry, Emil Caress has entered. So does that mean he's going to have a go? But of course they've got 2 teams, and so we're able to name quite a few names on their entry list just in case. So it doesn't really give much away. Shaftesbury always could be really solid, as they were, and at Southern. And Southampton have named Zach Mohammed in their squad. So whether he'll run or not, who knows? I haven't seen too much of him in the UK recently racing. So there you go. Hopefully it'll be as competitive as last year. Lots of information on Sportsoft race results. Be going up there. I think FR Systems might have the results live, but Sportsoft, I don't know whether they show team declarations. I managed to find them last year one way or another, but I'll keep a lookout for that. But otherwise, should be a good day. My tips would be, who am I going to go with? I'd probably go Leeds for the men and Aldershot for the women. Yeah, Aldershot and Bristol could come into the mix on the men's side, I feel. And then there's a whole host of clubs challenging for medals, perhaps. So looking forward to it, and hope you all have a good week.